Hey Simlies, it's Deligracy here and welcome to another speed build video. Today I'm actually recreating an existing house in the real world. That's right, this is not just from my imagination. This is actually an existing home that I have to give a shout out to Ashley and Xavier on Twitter who actually tweeted me it. Last week I was actually a little bit stumped for build inspiration. And so I just tweeted out and asked you guys, do you guys have any build inspo or build ideas? And so many of you tweeted back awesome pictures of really cool, interesting houses. And this one stood out to me because it had a lot of curved roofing pieces. And I just thought the curved roofing was fun and something I don't usually play around with. So I decided to go with that. But there's a few other houses that you guys sent in that I actually really do want to try and recreate. But of course, keep in mind when you're recreating a house in The Sims 4, The Sims 4 is restricted in many ways. So we use them as more inspiration than a replica in The Sims 4 because you can't do it exactly the same. For instance, the diagonal room on the left, this is quite a narrow lot, so I've actually shortened it a little bit. But other than that, what is kind of really difficult to do in The Sims 4 is actually create the same garage that's in the image. Number one, we don't have garages, we don't have cars. And number two, the roofing, it's really difficult to actually be able to delete all the walls under the roof. I'm not actually sure how people do that. I'm not sure if they're working with glitches there or what, but I'm talking about like the entire wall underneath a roof. I've seen it done before, but I don't know how they did it. So yeah, for instance, we couldn't really recreate that, but the main part of this is to exercise building techniques and to just have fun with it. And I actually really enjoyed imagining what the back of the house would look like, and the sides and the interior and the floor plan. So yeah, it's always fun to be inspired by existing homes, and I suppose we all are inspired when building in The Sims 4 by something that exists in the real world. So, or most of the time anyway. So yeah, at the moment we haven't finished or finalized the back of the house. We're just working on the front or the facade of the home, and we've got all of those curved roof pieces there, and I think it's fun. I love having a diagonal room. I feel like I want to build more diagonal rooms. I say this a lot. The difficult thing with them is that they are difficult to furnish, and that is because it goes against the grid, and when you're placing things like counters that won't actually snap to your diagonal room, it kind of goes against the grid, and you just have to be clever in how you place the items and definitely make use of that move objects on cheat, which allows you to place things off the grid. So yeah, I do want to do more diagonal rooms for sure. That would be nice. But yeah, I was just trying to figure out which door to place in. This is one of the only contemporary doors. I think it is the only contemporary door that's got a width of 4 tiles instead of 3. So yeah, that's kind of good that it fitted in. Oh wait, or is it 3 tiles instead of 2? Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, it's quite a tall house as well. It's got a lot of height. Because I have lifted up what do you call the thing underneath? The foundation. That's the one. I've increased the foundation so we have some nice stairs going to the front door. And I was trying to give a nod to what we have on the existing home on the facade here, but then I thought, you know what, let's just keep it simple and just do a line of lights, because it's kind of looking like the house that is existing, but it's got its own Sims look about it, I suppose. Now we're working at the back of the house, so this is entirely made up. I was just trying to figure out something that looked nice. I wanted a few windows that appeared to be double-story windows, so windows that kind of go together on the lower and then upper floors. So that was, yeah, you'll see those being placed soon. And I thought a pool would be nice as well. So as I'm building, I always say this, but I always try and imagine or envision what kind of family would live in the home. And I always dream up or think up backstories of the family. So for this house, I thought it was a family who were really successful. Like the parents or the parent would have made really good money, and they had 3 kids. So they live in this very new house. And all the kids have really nice bedrooms. And I imagine that the dad would have been an electrician because the kids' rooms have really nice lights in them and there's a lot of lights around the house. So I thought maybe he would have enjoyed putting in all the lighting fixtures and things like that. They're nothing too over the top, but there's definitely more than what I'd usually put in my homes. So it's an expensive home, but then again, it's not crazy over the top. Like, it's not a mansion. So whilst they have done really well, they're not like crazy rich or anything. So it's kind of like a home for your Sims that have been really successful, but who might have a lot of family members. You could definitely make the bedrooms into twin rooms, so put more than one bed in. I actually tried to do that at the beginning of the video. It was a little tight fitting them in though, but you can do it. You can do it, definitely. And yeah, they have a pool, they have a spa. There's going to be lots and lots of color in the kids' rooms. The kids' rooms are probably my favorite interiors in this build when we get upstairs. And then downstairs, it's definitely a little bit more, what's the word? Conservative, I'd say. It's modern, yet still conservative. We're going to go for some light colors. We're going to use some dark reddish timber floorboards for a change. I know most of you guys who keep up to date with my speed builds, you know I always love to go with modern homes and light floorboards because that's just what I love. But I know I gotta mix it up sometimes, and I know that a lot of you guys are waiting for a traditional home build as well, so not a modern build. So I am aware that you guys want that. I will for sure build a traditional build soon. I think the next build will probably be another home for my Dream Life LP. I want to build a better house than the one that we're in now. I like our current house in that LP because it's by Sims Self. It's obviously catered to my taste, but I feel like the lot is too small. So I'm gonna build something better, and it'll probably likely be pretty big. So that build might take me a while, but I don't know. But then again, would I actually want to live in a dream house? Like, would I actually want to live in like a really big house in real life? Probably not, but it's like a dream life, so it's not meant to be realistic, I suppose. Speaking of dream houses, my rent just got put up this week again. I just got 2 letters from my landlord, and they're like, yeah, your rent's going up again. I'm like, no, why? So I actually think I'm going to be moving just because it's so much money for a studio apartment. It's just like too much for what I'm getting. So yeah, if you guys kind of pop in and out of videos and you don't follow me on my socials, if for some reason there was like a period really soon of no videos, it would probably be because I was moving and I have no internet. So just as a warning, in the next few months, that might be the case. I don't know. I mean, I'll start looking, but we'll see how we go. Also, moving is such a big thing. Like, you have to pack all of your stuff up. You have to clean the existing house you're in and get the carpet all conditioned so it's all nice again, and clean everything so it looks all new. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so much effort. So I'll keep you updated though. I mean, if you follow me on Snapchat or Instagram or Twitter, which is at Deligracy, all of them, you guys will definitely know because I'll be like, packing another box. Oh gosh. I think my biggest worry about moving though is the internet situation, because Australia doesn't have the best internet, and it's actually a real headache trying to find a place with internet that's good enough to stream on like flawlessly, and to also find a nice place as well that's not too expensive. It's just a nightmare to try and find it. So, and actually, for those of you who are Australians watching, who are like, but NBN's been put in so many places. The new NBN, just to educate you guys, NBN's like Australia's, the new internet the government's implementing is called NBN, and it's meant to be really good. But the old NBN was really good when our old government was in, and the new government changed what NBN is. So the new NBN is actually really slow. Like it'll take me 2 hours to upload a 20-minute video. Right now I have fiber optic, or the old NBN's probably similar, whereby it takes like 5 minutes to upload a 20-minute video, 10 minutes max. So that's a big difference, like 5 minutes compared to 2 hours. Like that's crazy. And they're trying to say it's the same thing. So most people don't really realize that though. So I either have to find fiber optic, or I have to find a place that has old NBN, not the new BN. So it's a total nightmare. Anyways, I mean, there's way worse things in the world, so things aren't that bad at all. But for me, who's like internet obsessed, it seems like a big deal. Anyway, back to the build. I'll stop my rambling. My gosh. This is obviously the lounge room, so we're making a nice little TV cabinet area. And I was figuring out, like, okay, what kind of cabinets do I want to put in? And I decided I actually wanted to have shelving on the side of the TV. So we're actually going to put in some proper shelves and put some nice clutter items on there. And I just wanted it to look like more realistic and more lived in. So yeah, you'll probably notice at the end of the build in some of the screenshots, there's some extra clutter items, because after the build, I decided to really take my time to make it look more lived in. So I end up adding things like the knife object that sits on the kitchen wall, and the watering cans, and the gardening tools, and the garden hose, like all those little things that just make it that little bit more believable. I actually did that off camera at the very end. And then these new couches from The Sims 4 Parenthood, they're really, really nice. I love having the option of cushions, and they look realistic too. I'm loving the direction that all of the new packs are going in terms of furnishing. It's just like they've figured out the style and the groove of The Sims 4 and how it works. And I feel like they can be a little bit more experimental now, or at least that's what it feels like to me. So there's a lot of grays right now. When we finalize the rooms, they definitely get more color, but this is kind of the base idea. There's a lot of white walls too, but it does start getting very colorful as the build goes on, especially upstairs. But down here, it's more like simple, more open living. And then upstairs, like the bedrooms are really personalized, and I actually love the master bedroom in this build. I'll obviously show you later, but I just love the colors in it, and it has this like cool floor plan. Anyways, I'll explain it later. So yeah, now we're placing some of the clutter items, and this is a bit of a task. If you have The Sims 4 and you play The Sims 4 a lot and you love building, you'll know that it's really actually quite difficult to find objects to place on shelves, because a lot of them don't actually sit on the shelves. And I actually make a lot of use of the basketballs and like the bowling pins in this pack. One of the kids, in the latest packs, because one of the kids in this house loves sports. So we have a lot of sporty items around the house. It's probably an athletic family. They do have a basketball hoop outside with some basketballs lying around the yard. And there's a sports photo there on one of the shelves as well. Just here, that diagonal room's actually going to be a study, and we're going to add a ton of clutter items into that study before the end of the video. And the door on the right, that's going to be the main bathroom. So that's got a nice T-shape floor plan, which means we were able to put in really easily a toilet on one side and then the shower on the other side, and then have the sinks or basins in the middle section. And I quite like, because the windows are a little bit higher, you have that sense of privacy in the bathroom, but you still get a whole heap of natural light. So that's kind of the dream. And yeah, just putting in some blue wallpaper there to go with the countertops. And of course, a good old green plant. Don't you wish that all plants could live as lush a life as they do in The Sims 4 without being watered? And I know you guys are thinking of fake plants, but I don't mean fake plants, I mean real plants. I believe that all of the plants I put in my Sims houses are real. That's what I like to think. We're actually going to end up getting rid of this console table, because I just didn't think there was enough room for it. Even though it looks really nice, Yeah, we're actually going to delete it. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, guys. But we're going to actually put some bookshelves in here. And then, yeah, these end up taking up a bit of the space. So, yeah. And I think we're going to change the color of them soon. I was going to do like cream walls. And I was going to do cream walls because a lot of people like cream walls, but I really don't like them. I don't know what it is about cream. I think it's because I've lived in too many houses with cream walls that I just dislike them a lot. So we don't actually end up keeping this color, but I know some of you guys will like it, of course, because there's tons of different viewers watching right now. So of course some of you will like it, but yeah, I mean, at least you can see the option of color palettes. So this is the dining table, and right now the positioning of it isn't quite right. We're going to change it up a little bit because we have a room just behind the couch that is not being used. It was going to be another bathroom, but I was like, it doesn't make sense to have two main bathrooms on the same floor. Like, no. Just no. So we're actually going to move that dining table to where the other room is. And then it actually ends up being in a perfect place because the walls frame the table perfectly and there's big windows and it just works. It just works really nicely. I also find that if you change the flooring in the kitchen, when it's an open plan room, it gives a nice, I guess, sense of what's the word? Like it gives you the ability to differentiate between the different rooms without having to close off the space with a wall. That's what I was trying to say. So that's kind of a good thing to keep in mind, just using different flooring to make a different room as opposed to making an actual walled off different room. Anyway, I love open spaces, so I definitely prefer that. And just then I use Control F to get the diagonal tiles. Always a good thing to use. And yeah, now we have a nice space for the dining table. I think that looks so much better. We also have room to put in some of our stools as well. So now the floor plan's just looking a lot nicer. Everything feels like it has a home and is meant to be where it is. It's not like trying to squish everything in. It just works. And I'm actually, I do like the wallpaper behind the kitchen, but I actually end up changing that to black tiles because I felt like this house looked too perfect inside. So I wanted the black tiles to make it look a little dated. I know that sounds weird, but sometimes I like my Sims houses to look kind of realistic. Like, very few people in the world have totally new contemporary looking homes that are like perfect. You know, not many people have that. I know some of you might, but I mean, reality check, most people don't. So yeah, sometimes I just like to make things look a little less perfected, I suppose. But that's really hard to do in The Sims because, of course, you want everything to be perfect. And you can make everything perfect, and that's half the fun of it. Yeah. Anyway, so this is the study room. And I was kind of struggling with what kind of colors I wanted to put in here. And in the end, I decided this kind of purpley, inky bluey color inky purple color was nice. And here we're going to actually put a whole heap of items. I'm not sure if we're doing it right now, the clutter items. Yeah, we're going to add even more to that desk a bit later so it looks like it's a real work desk. Like, people get stuff done on that desk. Or Sims do. And I wanted a bit of greenery sticking out the top of that plant pot. So I just used the 9 key to lift up the item. And the Move Objects On sheet allows me to place it anywhere I want if I hold down the Alt key. So that's good. And then that chair like perfectly matched the wall color. So I was like, yes, we are definitely keeping that for sure. Anyway, up here is the first bedroom. And this is the kid that really likes sport. I tried to make this a twin bedroom. As you can see, you can fit 2 beds in there. But in the end, I was like, nah, I want to make sure all of the core bedroom essentials are in there. So, and I wanted space to give it a little bit of character. So we have room for the wardrobe. We have room for a desk. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like I need more twin rooms in my builds though. I think. And then that bookshelf just kind of sits nicely in that little alcove. I really like these trophy items with the sports shirt behind them, so it looks like it's kind of sitting on the shelf. But just for the symmetrical balance of this little spot where the bed is, I had to separate them. And yeah, now we're just putting in all of the bits and bobs. This kid has a bowling trophy. He's like obviously super talented at sport and sport picture. And then in the end, I thought it was really nice to make the wallpaper yellow and blue just to brighten it up, make it look really kid-friendly. And yeah, just to inject this build with a bit of color, because it was definitely feeling like it was a bit modern and cold on the lower levels. So of course, the kids' rooms, I want them to have a lot of energy and be really kid-friendly. And I love these little desks. They're so handy for kids' bedrooms. But yeah, it's pretty good room. Like if I was a kid with this room, I'd be pretty stoked. And it's got a nice view and there's nice windows, so it's got a bit of natural light in there. So yeah, I think a happy kid would be there. And this kid, I would think is, I don't know, primary school aged. And then this room is going to be pink and black. I think this room looks pretty cool in the end. Lots of patterns, lots of fun. I thought the black wallpaper was a little dark, and this gave us the opportunity to use the black or the grey and purple bubble wallpaper, which I never get to use. So I was like, yes. Also, that pink chair matches that wallpaper so nicely. I was like, yes, color coordination. Yeah, honey. So we use that. And this could be like a preteen to teenager room, I'd say. So this chick has a pretty sick room. I mean, she's got the mirror with lights all around it. She's going to have like a really nice desk area. So that's a lot of fun. And yeah, that's a double desk. So she's got a little bit more room, assuming it's a girl. But hey, you never know. It could be a guy, whatever you want. An iPad there or a tablet. Yeah, a few different items. And I have gone ahead and used any packs. Just given myself the freedom to go crazy. I do, for those of you guys who ask, I do like base game only builds and like base game and one other stuff pack. I do those, but a lot of the time I like to just experiment and go all out and not be restricted. I do that more than restricting myself. But there are like base game only builds. Just search like, if you search in Google Deligracy base game build, it should come up with some of them. And then this is the final room. So this is the guy's room. And, you know, maybe like in my head, I thought this guy and the girl in the pink room were twins. So they're around the same age. But this room is definitely like not girly or boy. Like this could be any gender, which is nice. And I did that deliberately because it's, if you want to download the house, then it's just easy to suit whatever family you have. So yeah. But this kid is definitely like either into games or I don't know, like there's a computer in there. There's lots of posters. Maybe they like games, maybe they like movies. But what I also wanted to do is include a bit of wildlife in here as well. So there's like pet lizards and a fish, I think. So that's a bit of fun. And they're objects I don't use all the time. So I thought, that's good for a change. And then we've got the nice big void critter picture on the wall. This is the master bedroom, and this is a room I really, really like. I know, I just think the colors are really nice. I love that bed with the navy colored bedspread and four-poster bed. And this wall here was actually inspired by one of my friends who just built a house with a boyfriend. They're really lucky because her boyfriend's a builder, a tradesman. So, and as we call him in Australia, he's a tradie. So he like built this little house for them on his parents' property, which is pretty cool. And they have a bedroom with the same kind of setup as this, where they have a wall behind the bed, which is actually the wardrobe. I just thought that was like a really clever use of space, and you get this really nice dramatic bed head. So I decided to recreate that in The Sims 4, and we do have a wardrobe just there behind the bed that has been placed in. You'll see that in the screenshots though in a little bit. But yeah, and then up here I thought I'd keep it simple, and we're going to have just some wellness and mindfulness things. So we have that little like meditation stool, and then the yoga mat, and lots of greenery around here in the corners. And that pretty much completes our build for today. So here we go. Here it is, the finished product. I hope you guys like it, and you can see the original build in the thumbnail. So yeah, this is it from some different angles. Let me know what you think. It was a fun build to do. And I like how it looks kind of stacked, like it's a tall build. And I think the floor plan would be really nice to play in, because there's a lot of space there, as you can see, for your Sims to walk around. I think it would work nicely. Here is the kids' rooms, very colorful with their fun lamps. Oh, okay, we've jumped back down to the kitchen. It looks like these are a little bit out of order. There is the study with all the extra clutter items, like so much stuff everywhere. I love it. Looks really lived in. It looks like my desk. Stuff everywhere. That's the main bathroom, just a shot of that so you guys can see it. And then if you go upstairs, we have the upstairs kitty rumpus space just over here. So there's a TV and couches in that little nook, as a second lounge room with a keyboard when you come up the staircase. And then this is, there's the blue and orange room with the little fishy tank things. Lots of stickers, lots of posters everywhere. Looking good. This is the kids' share bathroom, which has 2 sinks. And the girls' room. And then we'll have a look at the parents' room as well. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are in the world. And I'll speak to you soon. Oh no, I didn't put in the parents' room. Okay, here you go.